If we all live by that mantra of it's not for you right now, it's for the future you. The way that you act, your behavior, the way that you show up, your morals, learning to regulate your emotions, you're setting her up for success. And I think if we all led with that same exact mind frame, our entire network would completely transform.
Welcome to Women Awakening. I'm your host, Cynthia James, and this is a space where extraordinary women from around the globe step forward to share their wisdom and their courage and their deep dedication to uplifting the well-being of women everywhere. I believe that we're living in a time of profound emergence where women's voices, their visions, and their leadership is rising. And it's rising in powerful and, I'm going to say, necessary ways. I'm deeply grateful to be a conduit introducing you to these remarkable change makers and their stories of transformation, resilience, and impact. And you can find Women Awakening with Cynthia James on every podcast platform, as well as video on YouTube. And if these conversations resonate with you, I'm going to invite you to subscribe, share the show with the women in your life, and leave a review. Your subscriptions and shares and reviews truly matter, and they help us amplify these voices and extend this work to women around the world. I personally work with leaders, teams, and train coaches in emotional integration techniques, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the show and tell you what's happening in 2026. And if you want to connect with me personally, you just go to cynthiajames.net, where you'll find my newsletter, a vibrant private community, and many offerings designed to support your fullest expression in the world. Now I want to introduce you to my guest today. Her name is Sabrina Victoria. She was once a single mom trapped in a 13-year narcissistic relationship. She rose with resilience and purpose. Now she's the creator and CEO of Her Nation Global and host of her talk show. She's on the mission to help others rise, to equip women with tools to lead, to heal, and thrive unapologetically in life and in business. Sabrina, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, let's go. Thank you,
ladies. Sabrina was here a number of years ago, I think when I first started this. But I am so grateful that you're back. And I just want to start with you kind of giving us a little bit of information about your backstory, where you grew up in your life, for the people who may not have met you before.
Yeah. So raised in Chicago. I now reside in South Florida. And I was actually raised as a Jehovah's Witness. Everything was great until I became a little boy crazy, and I ended up pregnant at the age of 20 years old, and I wasn't married. And that's when my entire life shifted. In deciding to keep my child, I had to announce that I was pregnant to the church, and I was what's called disfellowshipped or disassociated, meaning every person I had ever known my entire life, including my mother, my father, my whole family, all friends, completely cut me off within 72 hours of announcing I was pregnant. And I led a stereotypical single mom, broke life. I had no outside resources whatsoever. I'm literally 20 years old. I'm working like a menial, wage job and trying to, apartment, daycare, insurance, house, car. And it was awful. Car getting repoed every other month, eviction notices on my door every other month. And within a year and a half, I ended up with a man. And I thought this man was going to save me financially. And it ended up being an incredibly abusive relationship.
Physically, emotionally?
Mental, emotional, sexual, and financial, no physical, which is why I ended up staying with him for so long. I always thought, which is an issue with a lot of women, that physical or that abuse is just physical abuse. Like if you're not getting hit, if there's no bruises or scratches or cuts or blood, then you're really not being abused. And so I was under this facade for years of just thinking he's just kind of mean. He's just like a mean guy, you know.
Right. Well, what woke you up?
One day I was in the bathroom having a total mental breakdown. This was 8 years into the relationship, and this happened all the time, where I would be on the ground just crying, screaming, bawling my eyes out, just broken with something he said or did, and I was in the fetal position in the dark in the bathroom, bawling, and I took out my phone and like through my blurry, teared eyes, I could barely see because I'm like in the dark and the phone is like blinding me. I did a Google search, and the Google search was, why is my boyfriend bullying me? So he was just so mean to me all the time. And Google, I always say Google saved my life. Google let me know that I was in a narcissistic relationship and that I was being abused mentally, emotionally, sexually, and financially. And literally within 2 minutes of just skimming, I sat up, cleared my tears, and changed my whole life.
And what did you do?
Dove into personal development of what I know is now. I didn't know it was personal development then, but at that point, I literally just dove in. I sat down at my computer and just started Googling and educating myself on empathy, right? I'm a very empathetic person, on codependency, on financial fortitude, and just realized that there was so much information that I didn't know that I didn't know. And that was really the key to unlocking this brand new life that I ended up currently in.
So, so how did you leave it? Because it took a while before
Yeah.
this awakening, right? Before you left, right? But what was it that caused you to say, today's the day I'm out?
That day honestly didn't come. It sounds weird to say that, but this is what happened. So whenever I talk to individuals who are in these sort of relationships, a lot of women tell women that I escaped, right? I got out. So they'll come to me and they'll be like, how did you do it? And I always am very honest with like, I really didn't do it. So basically what happened, I did and I didn't. So the last year I was with this individual, I had successfully gotten another housing on my own. I had opened up a secret bank account. I had started 3 online businesses, and over the course of 4 years, collected 50 grand. And I found a place. Yeah, I found a place. And I started slowly like moving all of my stuff over there. And the plan was, of this last final year in the summer, when my son was with his father for the summer, I was going to move. I didn't want there to be a whole bunch of drama around my son. I didn't want him pulling into this. So I wanted to make sure that he was safe with his father. And then I would do this moving and break up and everything on my own with just him and I. And my son was with his father for probably about a month. And I was still living with the guy. And I had this whole place fully furnished, ready to go with all of I was so scared to leave.
Yeah.
So scared to leave. And what happened is one day he calls me up, my abuser calls me up. I'm still living with him. And he goes, what the F are you doing? The real swear word, obviously. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I had moved myself out of the master bedroom into the guest room the last year I was with him. He's like, I'm in your room right now and there's nothing in here. He's like, where are you going? What are you doing? Where are you living? And I literally just started laughing hysterically. And that was it. That was it. I went home or went to his place and he's like, come over. He's crying. Let's talk it out. I promise. All the things that he had already said 1,700 times to me. And I went over and we sat and we talked and I explained, I mean, it was very dramatic. I'm making it sound like it wasn't that big of a deal. It was so dramatic. And, but anyways, I wound up I had one dress in the closet and I had one pair of pajamas in my drawer. And I grabbed those 2 things. I left the car because it was his car. I left the car keys and I got onto my bicycle and everything had already been moved over. I had moved everything over successfully behind his back, just secretly. And I got on my bicycle and I rode away. And that was it.
Well, okay, first of all, bravo.
Thank you.
Because I'm glad you said the thing about abuse, because it isn't just getting beat up and thrown into a hospital.
Yeah.
It can happen on so many levels. And I want to talk to you because you're doing so much work with women. You know, from my perspective, we are watching around the world old paradigms of shutting down women, pushing them down, trying to um, pull away their voices and their choices. And yet, what you just described is actually someone finding their voice.
Yeah.
And finding their power. So, what do you want to say about that and what you're witnessing in the world? Because it may or may not be what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I think is really important to recognize is it takes time. I say like I sat down at my computer and I just totally just changed my whole life, but it took a long time. The reason it took 4 years to leave him is because I kept changing my mind. Right? When you're in a narcissistic relationship, there's really, 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 really bad days. And then there is what's called love bombing, where when they feel you pulling away and they realize that you're not taking their crap anymore and you start to pull away, they just shower you with all the love and the gifts and the compliments and everything you want them to be. And then it's very confusing because then you think to yourself, oh, finally he loves me. Finally, he's going to change. Finally, he's going to be a good man. Finally, he's going to, transform into the person that he keeps saying he's going to be. And it lasts 2 days.
Mhm.
Right. And it's just enough time for all of the momentum of me working my other businesses to slow down, stop, right? Take a hiatus because it takes time to get back into it again. So building the identity when you're in a relationship like that, you're building you're building a whole new identity while still staying your same because you can't just change. You can't just become a powerful person underneath the roof of an abuser. It's like not a thing. So I had to play submissive while building secretly an identity of power. And it was incredibly hard. It was like mind boggling. It's like brain damage. But I always told myself that when I get out of this situation, my ability to be able to overcome anything is going to be so much stronger because this is like a mega gym exercise mentally that he's doing to me. So instead of it being like, oh, I failed again, oh, because I kept failing, right? I kept just stopping because he would trick me, right? So instead of it being like, oh, failed again, instead, I was in the mindset of, I'm learning to get back on the wagon. I'm learning to start over. I'm learning to keep going. I'm learning to be smarter than myself. I'm learning to pay attention unconsciously versus consciously and paying attention to what I know versus what I'm hearing. Two totally different things. And when it comes to women, right? When it comes to women, this happens all over the place. This isn't just in abusive relationships. This is in jobs. This is with friends. There's relationships like this all over the place. It isn't just in romantic relationships.
Right. So I want to know what's Her Nation Global?
That's the company that I run. So I run a community called Her Nation Global, which is dedicated to women business owners. I work predominantly with Gen Xers, and I help them create thriving businesses versus businesses that are barely surviving. So women leave corporate, they're all excited. They're going to, they're quitting the 9 to 5 and they're going to start their own business and work their own hours. And what they realize within a year is like, oh, this is actually like hard. There's actually like some work. Like I have to actually have like some systems and some strategies to actually make this thing like take off and start to make some money. So right around that time, 1, 2, 3 years is usually where they join my community, and we really teach them how to build the foundation, the systems, the structures for their business, the automations for their business, so that they can continue to grow and expand.
So I love that you're doing this, but I want to talk about women and investing in themselves. Because one of the things that I've discovered with my own clients and in different things that I've been in is like it's harder for women to invest in themselves because they're taking care of family, because they're trying to earn money or whatever and don't think there's enough or whatever. So what do you say to these women when they come and there's a resistance to making an investment like this that's going to take them to another level?
Yeah. One of the things that I really hone in on is the difference between a woman entrepreneur and a man entrepreneur. You feel like they're the same, but they're so different. And the reason why they're different is because women are a lot of times dealing with the noise, right? And when I say noise, I mean life. So if you are not even necessarily living with a partner, but even if you're divorced and with children, right? Even if you are dating someone, women a lot of times we're the caregivers, right? We want to help, we even with our friends, right? There's a lot of noise versus men a lot of times can really stay focused on the endeavor of making money. And there's not a whole lot of noise that they have to deal with. They can decide to deal with it, but there's not a lot of noise that they have to deal with. They can go to work, concentrate on getting promotions, versus the woman is birthdays, slumber parties, cleaning out the pool, doing the dishes, taking care of the kids and the dentist appointments and making sure she still looks hot with, her hair and her makeup and going shopping. She has to stay hot. She has to stay beautiful. She has to keep up with her friends. There's so much more noise in a woman's world than there is in a man's world, stereotypically. So when it comes to actually investing in ourselves, it's hard because there's so many avenues of which that money can go, right? We're thinking about dentist appointments. We're thinking about hair products. We're thinking about our friend's birthday. We're thinking about our kid's wedding that's coming up. Things that a man doesn't think about. When a man thinks about investing in himself, his mind, his business, he doesn't even realize that money is even necessarily coming out or how much that stuff even costs. So when it comes to him investing in the community, investing in the education to get to another level, it doesn't really enter his mind versus a woman that's all she's doing is thinking about the bills, the money going out, because there's all the noise that she's actually dealing with.
Well, yes, I'll say hallelujah. And plus, most of us have been kingdom builders for other people. And now, how do we build our own kingdom?
Exactly. And it's very hard. There's a lot of times that I have to ask. I have to ask my husband. Very rarely is a man sitting down and being like, hey, I want to spend $700 on something for my education. He's just going to spend it. More likely, right? More likely, not all the time, but more likely a man will be very convincing in having his wife drop or spend $700, $800, $1,000, $5,000 on continued education for himself to continue his business versus a woman, right? We're not as, innately, we're not as confident, right? So when we go to our husband with, hey, I want to drop $5,000 on something. By the way, my community is not $5,000. No offense to anybody's community that is $5,000. But when she goes to she speaks differently. Hey, I was thinking there's this thing, right? It's very timid. It's very quiet. It's very soft. It's very open-ended. What are your thoughts? Versus a man would be more not aggressive meanly, right? He's talking to his spouse, but more just assumptive. Like, hey, there's this thing. It's $5,000. I really want to do it. I think that'll really help get my business, my promotion to the next level. It's a lot more assertive. So that's one of the things that I work on with my ladies in my community is how to speak, right? The confidence, the their ability to be able to practice and state reasoning very clearly when it comes to making sales, when it comes to investing in ourselves and talking to our spouses.
Well, that's so beautiful. And I know that you address that in your talk show because you have all these amazing women. I guess I just want to know, did you know how to do a talk show?
No. No, I always say that I never know what I'm doing. Everything that I do, I always start with, I have no idea what I'm doing, but this is what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
What I love about you and just listening to your story is that you're not what's the word I want to, it's not like you're just going to jump and make some kind of decision. You're going to like get strategic about how are you going to do it. I mean, that you got a house, we're building $50,000 and putting stuff in there before the guy even figured out that you were moving. I mean, that you were the business,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. I love that. All right. I want to know how people find you.
Yeah, easy. So my name's Sabrina Victoria, right there on the screen. SabrinaVictoria.com is my main email or my main website, sorry. And that website is connected to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Insta, my H Club, and all of my ladies, all the communities that I run are underneath that website.
Love that. Okay, for those of you listening, not looking, SabrinaVictoria.com.
Yes.
So I ask the same last question, everybody, on my show. This show is called Women Awakening. Why do you think it's important for women to awaken at this moment on the planet?
Oh, there's no better time. I always give the analogy of a baton. So the way that I lead my life, I'm very much aware of like inner child work. And we all have inside us every age we've ever been. So I believe that inside of me, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old and a 14-year-old and a 20-year-old and a 39-year-old and a 41-year-old, right? I'm 43 right now. And all these women have done a great job in living their life, right? They've done a great job. Every year they show up and they do a great job. They learn things, they stay optimistic, they keep me healthy so that she can then hand the baton over to the next year, right? So I'm 43 years old right now. I'm working so hard. To make sure that when I hand the baton over to my 44-year-old self, it is the best Sabrina that I could possibly hand over to her. And this is what I believe if we all live by that mantra, right? And if we could teach our girls and our men the same mantra of it's not for you right now, it's for the future you, right? So the way that you act, your behavior, the way that you show up, your morals, not flying off the handle, learning to regulate your emotions. This isn't like, oh, be a good person now. No, this is so that when you hand the baton over to the future you're setting her up for success. And I think if we all led with that same exact mind frame, I think the entire globe, our entire network will completely transform.
Well, I love that you said that. And I just want to add a little thing from my perspective is like, as you do that, there is a healing that goes to the past selves and a growth for them as well. So I love that you said that, working for your future self. Well, I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful to know you. I'm so grateful for our connection and that you continue to connect me to fabulous women. You're extraordinary, and I'm very grateful to know you.
Thank you. Thank you. Same. I refer to women that I love. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, ladies, I close this show the same way with different words. First thing I want to do is thank you for joining. And to be in these kind of conversations with women, I hope you were touched, encouraged, and reminded of the incredible power that lives within you. Because these are reflections. These stories are reflections. They're invitations to awaken to your own voice, your vision, and your unique gifts in the world. If you want to go deeper with me at cynthiajames.net, you can look under coaching and see some of the work that I do. And by the way, ladies, I'm going to be hosting a 5-day workshop for women who want to write a book. It's called, Okay, Ladies, Let's Write a Book. 5 days in Denver with me. And it's going to be a small group. We're going to accomplish a lot because I think your voices need to be out in the world. So please remember to subscribe, share these episodes with women in your life, and leave a review. It truly helps us. And you can also watch the full video episodes on YouTube by searching for Women Awakening with Cynthia James. So until next time, may you continue to rise, shine, awaken to the fullness and the beauty that you are. I love you, and I'll see you next time.